Hi, my name is Cam Green, and you're watching Crash Course Human Geography. Today, we're discussing population, but before that, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Guns, Germs, and Steel. Never forget why you have cargo, kids. Population is all of the inhabitants of a particular town, area, or country, and these inhabitants, or people, are not distributed equally throughout history. Did you know that roughly 6% of all people who have ever lived on planet Earth are alive today? In fact, most of the world's population is clustered in 4 regions: East Asia, Southeast Asia, and Europe. Asia is so populated that the average person on Earth is a 28-year-old right-handed Han Chinese male. There are 9 million people on Earth who fit that description, which is more than any other. However, there are also many places that people don't normally inhabit. For instance, places that are too dry, too wet, too cold, or too mountainous. As you can see, all these places have one thing in common: they are all extreme. This affects the spatial distribution of people. Generally, there are 3 ways to measure the amount of people in a certain space: arithmetic density, which is the total number of objects in an area; physiological density, the total population divided by the number of arable land; finally, agricultural density, the number of farmers to the amount of arable land. However, the overall population density is increasing, which is due to a little thing called population growth. There are several components of population growth: crude birth rate, crude death rate, and natural increase rate, or CBR, CDR, and NIR. The CBR is the total number of live births in a year for every 1,000 people alive. CDR is the opposite, as it is the total number of deaths per 1,000 people alive. NIR is calculated by subtracting the CDR from the CBR after first converting the numbers to percentages. In recent history, the total population of Earth has increased tremendously, going from about 3 billion in 1960 to 6 billion in 1999, then most recently 7 billion in 2011. This growth is often also recorded through TFR, the measurement of fertility. This is the total number of children that a woman bears in her lifetime. Fertility varies from country to country, also changing over time within each country. As a result, the number of people of each age group forms a pattern, often displayed using a population pyramid. A population pyramid, as the name suggests, is a graph, usually shaped like a pyramid, that shows the percentage of the total population for each age group of each gender. But we'll get into this more later when it'll make more sense. Before that, we have a sneak peek into the new episode of Guns, Germs, and Steel. Take a look.
I've always been fascinated with the African civilizations, but the opening up of Wakanda to the rest of the world has piqued my interest. I set out on a journey to find out how geographic luck has influenced the tides of history. Today, we explore Wakanda to find out why exactly it is so advanced.
Vibranium, the strongest metal on Earth. Today, Jared Diamond will find out the secrets of the magic Wakandan metal. The 3 influences in the course of the history: guns, germs, and steel.
Back to population. Another way that population growth is mapped over time is the demographic transition model, or DTM. Basically, the DTM is a way of generalizing the level of development of a given country in 4 to 5 stages. It does this by showing the relationship between the CBR, CDR, and population of a country throughout the multiple stages of development. Each of the 4 to 5 stages corresponds to a different level of development, with stage 1 being the least and stage 4 being the most. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty. In stage 1 is when the CBR and CDR were unpredictable and the population was low due to that. No country today is in stage 1, but most of human history was. At stage 2, the death rates start to decline and the population increases rapidly. The US and the UK entered stage 2 during the Industrial Revolution in the late 1700s, and the rest of the world followed in the late 1900s. Stage 3, the birth rate decreases, and so does the death rate continue to do so. Economic change allowed societies to be more educated and produce less offspring. The population still continued to grow due to demographic momentum. Countries like India, China, and Russia are in stage 3. At stage 4, the CBR and CDR are almost equal, and the population is at a condition called ZPG, or zero population growth. Countries in stage 4 are the US, South Korea, and Denmark. There is a possible stage 5 that very little countries could be classified in today. Some people believe that these improvements to development will discourage reproduction and prolong lives, causing the majority of the population to be old. This can be seen in Japan, as the CDR outweighs the CBR and their population is declining. However, the stage hasn't showed many signs beside Japan. Relating this back to population pyramids, stage 1 is shaped like a triangle with a fat base due to people not being able to live long. Stage 2 is shaped like an equilateral triangle as people began to live longer. Stage 3 is shaped like a house as ages continued to spread themselves out. Stage 4 is shaped like a rectangle, or more accurately, a lumpy vase as a result of the improved technology of the new ages. And the possible stage 5 is shaped like an upside down triangle because the majority of the population is old. What you need to know about population is that it has differed in all places and all times throughout the course of human history. Even today, some countries have a rapidly increasing populations, while others have a rapidly decreasing population. Thank you for watching Crash Course Human Geography. Big thanks to the writers and producers Tommy, Parth, and myself, and we'll see you next time.